Every new blend borrows from the past, and the Saga Blend No. 7 is the perfect combination of timeless knowledge of traditional tobaccos and the newer balance that today's cigar enthusiasts come to expect and love in a fine cigar. Leveraging 6 generations of experiences and traditions of the Reyes family, the Saga Blend No. 7 delivers a unique, full-flavored, medium-bodied cigar. This cigar is highlighted by a Brazilian wrapper over a blend of Central American and Dominican tobacco. Available in 3 sizes at an affordable price, the Saga Blend No. 7 is sure to please and bring together past and present. Rocky Patel Premium Cigars. The era of elegance continues as they celebrate 20 years of creating iconic cigars, delivering nothing short of magnificent. The Rocky Patel 20th Anniversary cigar line follows the lineage of the Rocky Patel Decade and 15th Anniversary. 4 years in the making, it's a masterfully crafted cigar. The blend combines fillers from Esteli and Jalapa, Nicaragua, as well as Yamastran, Honduras. Encompassing an elegant Honduran wrapper, this box-pressed beauty is soon to be legendary. The Rocky Patel 20th Anniversary. The era of elegance continues. For more information, visit them on the web at rockypatel.com and be sure to follow Rocky Patel Premium Cigars on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
When we review or report on something, we don't want there to be any guesswork. We believe the information must be accurate and it has to be reliable. For what we review, the goal is hopefully to educate our audience, and at the same time, an equally important goal is in turn to get educated ourselves. What we want to do is earn the trust of our audience, and to do that, we ensure what we report is accurate, rumor-free, and teaser-free. The premium cigar industry is so dynamic, and every day brings something new. We wanted Cigar Coop to be an extension of that experience, so it has to be 365 days a year. We wanted to create a true media ecosystem and integrate Cigar Coop with the power of our Stogie Geeks programming network.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geeks Show. That's right. This is our Stogies of the Week segment. I'm excited about all my Stogies, certain ones in particular this week, as always. I don't like to say I play favorites, but certainly after the event last week that all 3 of us attended, there's some excitement around. I haven't smoked my pork chop yet, by the way. I smoked a pork tenderloin, and I smoked the negociant. You guys, I think, you've smoked through your whole sample pack. Gone.
It's gone.
And you're still.
I'm kind of right in the middle there. I smoked the negociant, and I've tabled the rest.
Pork tenderloin, the first one. Is that the first one we?
Yeah, you want to talk about? Let's talk about the pork tenderloin.
We got the packets delivered to our table. I looked Joe D right in the eye, and we came to the conclusion that it wasn't 37 seconds; it was 33 seconds that I lit it up, and it was amazing.
With the quickness, yeah,
it was amazing. Whole package was amazing. The event was great.
Joe was speechless.
Yeah,
that's
good. That was a great.
Joe was not speechless.
That was a great cigar day.
Very rarely.
Think about it. You get to try. You get to try. Right? You get to try the Auroras that we had.
Aurora.
Yeah.
Is that a new?
Aurora.
How much you been drinking?
Actually, I got 2 going on.
It's a Aurora.
I got this thing. I got this little thing here. I got this little thing
You
here.
reminded me of like
double fist.
La Aurora.
Episode 3, Tatarare.
Tatarare.
Tatarare. La Aurora.
The La Aurora.
The Aurora.
So we had that one. The Havana special.
The La Aurora.
Yeah. That was amazing.
And it's Cien Años is the one we smoked. The Aurora you're talking about is Cien Años.
Yeah.
Tailor-made for Havana
Not
Club.
Cien Años.
100 años.
That's the difference between 100th anniversary and 100 assholes, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, no kidding?
Yes.
Oh, great.
There are some subtle differences in language. Whether it's English or Spanish, there are subtle differences.
Well, the good news is our listeners have not corrected me on my pronunciation.
They gave up on that shit a long time ago.
This kid.
A long time ago.
This Italian kid doesn't speak Spanish.
The
right?
Tatarare.
Tatarare.
Do we have the updated box count next door? It was at 97. It's going to be.
Oh, I bought it. Yeah, so that we're All right. So we're talking about the La Aurora 100 Años Petit Corona.
Yes.
I believe it's the size, right? And
Game changer.
it is like a flavor bomb.
Had some more
For
yesterday.
sure.
It's just amazing. That's an amazing stick. It is. It's speechless.
Yep.
I would say fight Chuck Norris. I wouldn't put it quite at Oasis yet.
Yeah, no, that was my first and only
Fight
so
Chuck-
far.
yeah, fight Chuck Norris.
Fight Chuck Norris for that
Yeah,
stick.
There you go.
Okay. Now that we've level set on that, we're talking about pork tenderloin.
Yes.
Which is something we can pronounce, which is awesome.
By Tatawahe.
Tatawahe.
Yes.
And the release date, Half Wheel had a write-up, and I think they did a redo of it with like a year and a half of age, which that's like when I smoked it, it had maybe a year and a half or 2 years of age on it. The original one that was released in August of 2010, according to Half Wheel. 5 1/8 by 52. The wrapper's listed as Connecticut Broadleaf, although it's not a really dark Connecticut. Well, I don't know. The ones that we got the wrapper didn't seem really dark.
Oh.
5 1/8 by 52. They call it a Robusto Extra. The original price point was $200. I think it went up to $225 for the bundle that comes in the meat. I haven't taken pictures of it yet. I will. That bundle's in my humidor at home, by the way. I did score a bundle.
Just in case you're calling stick on the Stogie Geeks show.
It's at home.
And we have to host because we're going
Yeah.
right. That's the one
Right.
we're going
That's
for.
why I kept it at home and not here.
So if he gets the sniffles,
Now the filler is supposed to be based on the J21 blend, which is interesting. I think you both heard Stogie Santa talking about how the original J21 that had the J21 in the band, we've talked about historically as being one of those awesome cigars. Then they released future ones without the J21 in the band, wasn't as good. Anyway, I like the pork tenderloin. I thought it was really good. I definitely think it's box worthy right now. I think that's going to increase as it ages. It definitely had tons of. That's always the thing when we talk about flavor, right? The pork tenderloin for me is all about flavor. I don't know what's different about the J21 blend. I've smoked a lot of J21s. It's more like the original ones with the J21 in the band. Like the flavor is just amped up. If you go buy a J21 out of the case today, it just doesn't have the flavor profile that these pork tenderloins did or the original J21s. And a different wrapper, whatever the secret sauce is in the pork tenderloin.
Nice marriage of age and revisit after a year. Chuck Norris is getting some.
It's all about flavor. I think it's boxed worthy right now, and I think in a year or two, it's going to be Chuck Norris, maybe Oasis, depending. It's somewhere in that realm, is my assessment so far.
Right.
I mean, they smoke great, and just that it's like a wood flavor. It's a little bit of sweetness. Just a solid flavor profile. And we can talk about chasing these, rare, limited things or whatever. This was certainly one of the ones early on that, you chased because everyone was buzzing about it. And I think it's one of the minority that, lives up to that chase.
Right.
Yeah. It's full body. It's just a great... And it just lingers on your palate.
It does, yeah. That's a great characteristic, I think, of a
totally
cigars that are Chuck Norris or Oasis. You get those flavors, and you're right, they linger. They're not like some cigars that I think are lower on the rating scale. You get that flavor, and then it's kind of gone. Like they're very transient flavors, and so you're like, wow, that was really good, but it wasn't there long enough for me to really take it all in. When you get into something like a pork tenderloin and these other cigars we're rating really high, that flavor lingers on your palate. It sticks with you. Padron cigars do a very similar kind of thing, right?
See, for me, if I'm going to rate something high, it's because it lingered on my palate. And when it's out...
Left wanting more.
And when it's out and you've done something for 5, 10, 15 minutes, a half hour, and you're like, damn, that cigar was so good, if you left the building or if you went to your local retailer shop and you left, you hop in your car, you're driving home.
Lingers on your palate and in your mind.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, that was...
To me, that's my ride home, and that it's an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
You're, that 15, 20 minutes, you're leaving the cigar lounge, and all you can think about is that cigar and how great it was, and the next time you're going to revisit.
I like the cigars that stop me into my tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you're right. The pork
if you're
tenderloin
checking
did for me.
email or working or however you smoke your cigars, if you're on your porch or, if you're with a group of friends or whatever it is that you're doing.
Now, we
The
were
ones that do
lucky
that.
enough to go to the event, and there is a series of events where they'll have these available at select retailers. You can go look online and see where those are. We were lucky to find a retailer here locally, Mr. J's Havana Smoke Shop. that had these, and we got the 3 Negociants, the Bellicoso, the Robusto, and the Toro. I think they were calling that number 3 size. And we got a pork chop, which I haven't smoked yet, and the pork tenderloin. And then, depending on the retailer, there's other things to be bought. I know Big Pete was talking about that gigantic case of the Cazadors. It's like all of the Tatuaje Reserva lines.
We actually saw it.
We saw it, yeah.
Stogie
That
Santa came on
gigantic
table.
Yeah,
It was handcuffed to
showed
Dan's
us.
wrist, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah.
The launch codes and
The launch codes. It looks, it's, and so they were selling the individual bundles out of that large case. So there was, if you can find this Tatuaje event in your area, I would say without question, if you're a Stogie Geeks listener, you have to be attending this event. We get the sample pack, and then if you buy something else, you get a 3-pack, and there's pictures. In my notes, you get the pumpkin cigar, which I'll talk about. But
one of those special events, a few extra dollars than
yes,
the norm.
The food was really good. I mean, they did a nice job.
It was.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Top to bottom is excellent.
So the pork chop, let's talk about that one next. I have not smoked mine yet.
Me neither.
You have, so you're the only one smoked a pork chop. What'd you think?
It's smaller, It's
Well,
right.
yeah, because a loin is bigger than a pork
Yeah, I
chop,
got it. I
right?
get it. I don't know. I'm not a butcher, but it's small. It's
There's
smaller.
the title for the episode right there.
It's
I'm
smaller?
not a butcher.
I'm not a butcher.
Not a butcher.
That's the title.
Title for this
episode.
episode.
What is this?
225.
Episode
I'm not a
225.
butcher.
I'm not a butcher. No, it's I guess they did it smaller for a reason. I'd be interested to see what that would be for a bigger size, because for a small, a much smaller ring gauge, smaller cigar, it's such a flavor bomb.
Yeah.
It's just intense, not intense in strength, intense in just flavor. Like I could not believe the amount of flavor that I was getting from the smaller version.
See, I want to go
cigar.
smoke mine now.
Bill
Yeah,
the
you
Butcher
got
would
it.
approve?
What?
Bill the Butcher would approve?
Bill the Butcher would
Bill the
approve
Butcher
for
would
sure.
approve.
You know what I mean? It's just a great smoke. Like you said, it's if there's an event near you, seek this out. If you if you make friends with your local local
Tobacconist.
retail shop and your local tobacconist, see if they can find them for you. They're out there. It might cost you a little bit of extra dough, but it's definitely worth it. For sure.
See, I don't know if I ever smoked an original pork chop.
I never smoked the original pork chop. I never did, but the tenderloin I did, and it's just an amazing
So now,
blend.
what about the Negociant? We talked about it in the
Yep.
previous segment.
Yep.
We covered the blend. Ecuadorian. It's a very interesting Ecuadorian Connecticut, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You guys both smoked. We all smoked it at this point.
Hey,
complex.
Joe.
It's a complex Connecticut. You know, when I mean complex, it kind of catches you by surprise if you're used to the Connecticut flavor.
Right.
There.
Yeah, it's outside the bounds of that traditional, like, hay, a little bit of sweetness, Connecticut shade
Sure.
cigar.
Right. It's beyond creamy. It's great.
I thought there was a creaminess component.
It does
to
linger on
It
the
was.
palate, but there was something. There was a little bit of spice, and I couldn't quite pick it up. What it was. I have 3 more left from the other packet. So
Gotcha. So you smoked all 3 sizes to this point.
Yeah. I smoked.
Now, what about you, Rainman? What you got?
Just the one. I'm taking a page out of your book, and I'd like to let it sit just a little bit longer. Mark Feely, Stogie Santa, at his suggestion, let it ride for a little bit and come back. So I enjoyed the first installment, and I'm very eager to see where it goes next.
I smoked all 3 sizes. I thought the number 1, the Robusto, I thought the draw was a little snug in my opinion. I spoke with others that said that particular size does have a tighter draw. Not that it's plugged, but it just has a tighter draw than
What
the
size
rest.
was that?
That was the Robusto 5x52, the number 1.
Okay.
Then I did smoke the number 2, the 5 3/4 by 52 Bellicoso. I thought that was a 5er. I thought it was good. That could probably be a box split as well. I think it probably needs some age. I thought that was a really good morning smoke. What I liked about that cigar is as you got like into the second half, like it really kicked up in strength. I liked the 6 1/8 by 48, which they're calling a short Churchill. I thought that was the best one out of the 3 that I smoked. I want to get more of those to smoke some more. That could be in my regular morning smoking rotation. And I was talking with Dan Welsh at the show, and I said, Connecticut's, I've reviewed a ton of them. And what I was talking about before, that wood and that the hay, rather, with the sweetness is your traditional kind of Connecticut flavor. And people try and break out of that. And oftentimes they go into putting too much spice and other components that overpower the wrapper, in my opinion, so you don't get that creamy sweetness from the Connecticut wrapper. And then the minority of the ones that I really like, such as the New Wave Reserva Toro from Ipicarillo, and others, fall in that middle category where you still get that nice creamy sweetness from the wrapper, and you get the other components inside the blend to complement that.
Right.
And if it's balanced like that, it's a win. To me, the Negociant was that, and I was really impressed. And because everyone has a Connecticut cigar now, I'm kind of like jaded and curmudgeon-y now about Connecticut cigars, and the fact that we're at an event and they were talking about it and hyping it up. I was like, but then I smoked that short Churchill. I was like, this is a box-worthy offering, in my opinion, into your morning smoking rotation. And not just, people smoke Connecticut's at different times.
Right.
And a lot of people smoke them later in the day as well, when their palate's a little tired or whatever, they want something lighter later in the day. So this could work in the same. I don't think it's as good as the New Wave Reserva Toro, in my opinion. I would still prefer that one. But this one was close, dude. And to get close to that cigar is something that should be in everyone's rotation.
You're certainly not left trying to rack it in the milder Connecticut versus the ramped up with the pepper. It was smooth across the board, and it played well.
Yeah. It's nothing like a Tatuaje cigar.
Not at all.
Right.
And this is a collaboration between L'Atelier and Tatuaje. But like, if you're used to the regular Tatuaje, anything in the Reserva, like most other Tatuajes are nothing like this cigar. Even Cabaguan. There was a Cabaguan in our pack as well, which we didn't talk about. That's a more straight up.
That's what that was.
Connecticut.
The unbanded style.
That was a Cabaguan.
Okay.
I like the Cabaguan. I just think it's a little too much. And I've gone through boxes of Cabaguan. They've got some great offerings in Cabaguan. You don't see it as much as, it doesn't have the Tatuaje name on it, so it doesn't get as much hype or whatever. I think it's a great blend. I think it's one of Pete's great blends. And I do like smoking that. Negociant was an amped up Connecticut that worked with balance is really the point of our discussion, and I think what you folks experienced as well. So,
You can let it sit a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it's not going to age out. I don't think it's going to age out.
It's going to be an awesome smoke,
great
for sure.
All right, Rainman, what you got on your list?
Smoked the Rancho Luna Maduro offering, the JRE Tobacco Company, Honduran binder, Honduran wrapper, Honduran Corojo binder. Honduran,
was this the light?
This was the
We just
Maduro.
got these in. This was the Maduro. Okay, I haven't smoked the Maduro. I smoked them with the lighter wrapper.
I smoked the lighter wrapper as well. I want to go back and revisit it and see if I can pick out a few more flavors that be at a later date. But for the Maduro, Honduran Habano and Corojo filler, $6 price point, which is excellent. I smoked the 5x50 Robusto. They offer 3 Vitolas, and was able to pull some coffee, earthiness, and had, especially towards the end, like I chalk it up as like a fresh tobacco taste. And it was different. Medium cigar, debuted at the 2016 IPCPR, rolled in Honduras, and I gave it a 5.
I haven't smoked that one yet.
A cigar I'd like to revisit as well, but a 5 for now.
I'm pretty sure that's still, because the JRE is associated with the Aurora family. Justo.
Julio and Justo, Aurora.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's authentic Corojo. So that's like they didn't hybridize the Corojo plant like they did with the Nicaraguan Corojo or Dominican Corojo, or Corojo 99 is a hybrid off of that.
Right.
That's the Aurora family's known for authentic Corojo.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you said that like kind of fresh tobacco taste. I think that's the authentic Corojo.
There it is.
That comes through, because in Cuba it was all about Corojo, and then we've had segments where we talked about Blue Mold, and then Corojo. We've done actually a couple of different segments, I think, on Corojo, because it is essentially one of the fundamental strains of tobacco that a lot of other
I'm sure there's a
strains have been
better
derived
term
from.
for it, but that's what I was able to grab, like that.
Yeah, no,
that
that's
freshness, fresh tobacco taste. Yep.
I smoked the one with the natural wrapper. I'm still not ready to review it. I think they're good. I'm smoking them. I'm liking them.
Yep.
But I agree. Like, it's almost like I want to reserve my review till I smoke a few more. Like, I'm still digging through the blend. It's very good. The natural one's a Honduran Puro, I believe.
Right.
So good stuff from Jerry. They're a sponsor, by the way. We should disclose that they are a sponsor.
Excellent.
Did you give it?
I gave it a 5.
Okay.
I could. Have you? I haven't given you some. I haven't given you any yet.
You haven't given me.
Yeah,
any
I'll
of
give you some
those.
to review as
Give
well.
us some different ones.
Right out of the gate, I believe the lighter wrapper probably for me plays a little bit better. I'm probably going to hit it with a higher ranking, but I do want to smoke it one more time.
Yeah.
Give it.
There was a
give it
lot
just
going on
due.
in that blend.
There was.
Hollywood, what else you got?
Well, episode either 214 or 213, you mentioned the La Polina Black Label.
And I gave you guys some to review.
Yeah, you gave me.
I
two,
did not. I did not care for that. Blend.
I know you didn't. You gave me two sizes, the Robusto
So
and Toro.
I gave the rest to you guys.
You gave me the Robusto and Toro. Had both. The Robusto is a 5x52, and the Toro is a 6x50. Wrapper is Brazilian Barano. Is that how you pronounce that?
How you spell it?
Bahiano. Bahano?
Sure.
Yep.
Go with that.
Okay. The binder is Dominican Nicaraguan, and filler is Dominican Nicaraguan. This is going to be posted tonight over on StogieGeeks.com under the Stogies section. I invited the listeners to, before you light this cigar, just take a look at it. Because it is dark.
Dark.
It is dark. The label is
Like
dark.
like tabernacle.
Yes.
Dark.
And I actually said the La Polina Black Label.
It's not
before-
broadleaf though. You said it's a Brazilian wrapper, right?
Yes, it's a Brazilian wrapper. Before you light it up, take a look at it. This cigar wrapper is very dark. Has an overall tight feel to it. So you know it's whatever's in it. It's tightly packed.
It's tight.
It's tight, right?
Snug.
And I said, if you look at this,
that's a clip
if
from
you look
Breaking
at,
Bad.
if you look at this cigar,
Remember that? Yeah.
it will take you over to the dark side. Like you're like, oh boy, right? This is like beyond Maduro, right? Especially if you're a novice smoker. However, once you get past the first section of it, it does open up to something that I found a little bit better on the retro hail than the actual cigar. So you kind of, you want to kind of take your time with this. Make sure.
Well, you always get different flavors on there. I think
but it had a
get more flavor on the retro hail.
the way you described it, like you had that black licorice. It was kind of not. What was the word you used?
like black.
Weird.
It was weird.
I gave it a try one because you definitely, like I said, I had both sizes. Both sizes to me smoked the same. Except for the Robusto was a little. It starts off pepper right in your face. It's so strong, and then after when you're about halfway done, it does mellow out. The retro hail, I did enjoy that. It's good. Like I said, I gave it a try one. If you see it and you want to try something different, let us know what you think for sure. Because
Absolutely. Now, I did smoke something from La Polina. I smoked the La Polina Classic line in the Lancero, which. I have the size actually somewhere in one of my tabs in my browser. Maybe I don't have the size. I want to say it's a 6x40. I don't sound very sure of myself here. These were actually on closeout, which is kind of interesting. I had two sitting around in my humidor, so I smoked one, and I was like, "Well, that's really good." And I smoked another one. I'm like, I could get some more of these. And there's not too many sticks with all the cigars that we smoke for the show, that do that. This in 2013 was on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 list in the Toro size. I've always liked it in the Lancero size, which I apologize, I don't have the size on this one. I can get it for you. I think it's a really good blend. I like this cigar in the morning, especially. It is a 7x38, and it is a Brazilian wrapper. And it's made in the Dominican Republic. Great morning smoke, lots of flavor. It has that caramel kind of sweetness to it. Whereas I think in a traditional Connecticut, you get like a creamy, just sugary sweetness. With this one, it's more of a caramel sweetness, so it's a nice little change up in the morning. These Lanceros have been smoking really nice, and I just scored a box at like a closeout price, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
I don't know why they weren't selling well around here. I think maybe it's just lost in the other things that are coming around, or whatever the clientele, the air, whatever. I mean, there's a million different
It
reasons.
speaks to you. Good news for you.
I was like, good for me. This is awesome. So I would call it box worthy, as I just scored a box. Like literally moments before we started recording today, I scored a box. It's going to be my go-to like morning commute smoke. I like it.
Nice. Smoked the Upsetters Django Foundation Cigar Company. Nicaraguan Claro wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan and
Wait,
Jamaican
is this the
filler.
one that was infused?
It
This is an
was.
infused cigar.
Which is not my wheelhouse, and I kept it separate from the rest of the cigars because it's that strong.
So it's potent. I actually met the person who's
Right.
blending and doing the infusion for these cigars. We're gonna have him on the show. I mean, it smells like unbelievable, like perfume kind of.
It's a kick in the nostrils for sure.
Yeah, like even just smelling, even through the cellophane, you can smell the infusion. And when you sniff the foot, I mean, it's like blasting you with. And it's very similar to acid, I think, which I'm not a huge fan of the herbal infused. I like the coffee and
Java.
no more
Tobacco.
so. More so the
Tobacco.
Yeah, Tobacco Special and the one from Oliva Nub Cafe, the cappuccino. That one. I like the coffee, more so coffee infused. Tobacco Special is not coffee. That's a different kind of infusion, but it's more like Kahlua infusion in the Tobacco Special. Those are the ones that I like. That if I'm going to smoke infused, I go to. The ones that are herbal, man, I try them. I just can't.
Well, I wanted to hate it. 4.5 by 40 Corona. Very cheap price point, 4.5. I gave it a $5. I wanted to strongly dislike this cigar, and just with the clove right off the foot throughout,
It is a clove, yeah.
some tang, some spice.
Some like dirty hockey bag, I've heard. Dirty, no.
I wouldn't give it that.
Mark Jr. and Stogie Santa they would just laugh like little schoolgirls about dirty hockey bag. And they were smoke. The room aroma to me is kind of like a musty. Like I walked into the other side and everyone was smoking them next door,
Right.
the production staff, and I was like, I don't play hockey, but if like a dirty gym bag kind of room aroma.
I smoked
and not
those-
that the room aroma means anything
yeah.
about your own smoking experience. I'm like it's secondhand if you're not.
I smoked it this morning, and John next door he picked it up from the outside.
Yeah.
Before he came in.
Would he come out and say, "What are you smoking?"
Oh, you knew.
Oh,
You knew.
because it vents into
Yeah.
the outside
Yes.
from
Sure.
next door. So when John was coming in, he knew you were smoking an infused cigar. That is
Undisclosed
very
aging.
strong.
And boxes of 20, 30, 60, depending on the size. But I gave it a $5. I really want to come back to it. It's not going to be an everyday smoke, but just something different to change it up. And I spoke to Joe about the end of the night cigar
Yep.
or the morning.
Morning, if your palate's tired, I like an infused cigar as well.
Mix it up at the end of the night.
Why
They're
did you
not
want to
one-
hate it?
Because it's
'Cause it was
infused.
it was
Well, and I
infused?
think the whole thing, if you're a Stogie geek, right? Like your whole thing is like infused, like they're artificially putting flavor in. Whereas I think we pride ourselves on being Stogie geeks because we get flavor from natural tobacco products, and we get a lot of different flavors. Now we don't go off the rails all the time. I mean, sometimes we do get kind of weird. Will certainly had his marshmallow thing, and we all have like our different flavors we identify with. But for the most part, I try and keep it at least in a very simple flavor wheel, right? When you add infusion into that process, I don't want to say it's not artificial like artificial sweeteners, right? But there are other things, not tobacco, in the process.
could
And I
see
think we
this
have to
definitely-
look down upon that and say, well, you had to add something outside of tobacco to get those flavors. But I do think they have their place, especially the ones that like you gave the blend. Like they're actually.
I could see this for a newer smoker migrating as a becoming an everyday smoke. And then,
It's like a gateway drug.
It is.
Okay.
It's a gateway drug.
As a lot of the infused
Gateway
and flavored
smoke?
cigars.
It's a gateway smoke.
Hey, work your way up, but it's one you might circle back to because it's just a change. It was a refreshing change.
Say what you will, though, but a lot of the infusion, especially with acid, created a whole new class of smokers that got into it because, this isn't your grandfather's like Candela that he was, smoking in the car with all the windows up when you were little, right? These have in those infusion flavors, and I think the younger generation identified with. But I think, and I've talked with Jonathan Drew about this, a lot of those newer smokers came in and they're like, well, what else is available, and gravitated into non-infused cigars. So to take people, the younger generation, get them into smoking, it is very much a gateway in that sense. I think it's a positive thing, and we'll review them. Sure, why not?
Right.
I haven't smoked mine yet, though.
I can certainly see a few friends that dabble with the herbal medicine. This would definitely be the stick for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, herbal medicine, huh? Speaking of infusion, well, that's not really an infusion, but it has a pumpkin on the band. And that was my first question at the event, because these were an event-only cigar. This is the Tatuaje Halloween, what they call the pumpkin edition. And when they call it like the Tatuaje pumpkin, and I'm like, I actually asked Stogie Santa, I'm like, is this a pumpkin cigar? He's like, no, there's no infusion in this process. But these are 3-pack only event cigars that were announced last year. And when Tatuaje was doing their events, they were giving out these 3-packs. It is, I think, branded as part of like the Halloween series from Tatuaje, but Pete decided to keep it as an event only. The only thing that Pete has disclosed, and I read multiple sources, is that it is Connecticut broadleaf. And I read reports from people who were at an event. I read reports from Half Wheel who spoke with Pete about this cigar. The only thing that Pete Johnson will disclose is that it's Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. That's the only thing we know. We don't know if it shares blends with all the previous Halloween releases. We don't know if this is going to be a precursor to an upcoming Halloween release. All we know, it says Tatuaje Halloween on the band. There's a pumpkin on it, and it's Connecticut broadleaf. And it does have a size, which I don't have. Oh, hold on. I do have that. Hold on. If I click this link, there was a Reddit review. Liga Monger 16 reviewed the cigar on Reddit and says it's a 4 7/8 by 50 Robusto. I smoked 2 of them for this review. My experience was essentially the same. I agree with others that have reviewed it. The final third isn't so great. It does have good flavors. It's a tasty cigar. It's got a little bit of spice and pepper. And I would call it a box split, in my opinion. I think it's a good offering. It's not, some people call it, it's the best Tatuaje I ever smoked. No, it's not. If it is, and you haven't smoked everything from Tatuaje before.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's a solid offering from Tatuaje. Again, one you can only get right now at an event, or if you know someone that works for Tatuaje or whatever and wants to part with it. It does say not for resale right on the packaging. I put pictures up on the website on StogieGeeks.com so everyone could see the cigar and the packaging as well. And it's good. It's a good cigar. It's not, we've talked about Tatuaje special releases like the pork tenderloin that are wet spot in your shorts, jumping up and down for joy. It's not that. I think Pete posted something about RC 233. Have you seen that release? No. The retro Cuban release from Tatuaje? 233s are huge, dude. Huge cigars. And they're box stamped. He had one from 2013 or 2010 or something like that. And he was going to be smoking them. Those are good. The 184 is a little better. But there's a lot from Tatuaje that I'd much prefer to smoke and give a higher ranking. But this was good. This was good.
Where'd you have it for ranking?
I had it at box split.
Okay.
And everyone I talked to, basically, from what they say, it's yeah, it's good. I'd smoke them. But it's not oh my God, special Tatuaje, it must be Oasis. No, not necessarily.
Right.
So, you got tons of La Aurora.
I guess that's the flavor of the week, right? The La Aurora, 1987, Connecticut. This came out in 2016, along with the 1962 Corojo. It's available in 20-box count. I had the Toro size, 5.5 by 54. I was impressed. And again, it's another $6-7 price point stick that, if Connecticut's not in your wheelhouse, you might want to revisit these, especially for the, I gave it, what did I give it? I gave it a $5.
That's where I put it. I put it at $5.
Yeah, I gave it a $5. If Connecticut's not in your wheelhouse, definitely you might want to pick some up and rekindle yourself with the region and the blend. It's awesome. I like it. Creamy. Everything you expect from a Connecticut is within that cigar. It's awesome. Wrapper, Connecticut shade. Binder, Dominican. And filler is Dominican and Nicaraguan. Again, excellent price point. Great smoke. You know, and if you like, if you're a new smoker and you usually just smoke Connecticut's, it's a good gradual step towards something.
They put that Nicaraguan in there that kicks it up a little bit.
Yeah, the Nicaraguan definitely kicks it up a little bit. So it's actually a good it's a good stick to have.
Nice.
I think you smoked a similar stick, Rainman.
I did. This next one I have here is I revisited the Islero Imperia. We just had Mike on recently, Mike Bellady. Ecuadorian Habano 2000, Dominican Criollo 98, Pennsylvania Ligero and Dominican Criollo. Second time around, light sweetness, tobacco, smooth as hell.
Oh, is this his latest offering?
No, the Islero.
First one.
Oh, the Islero. Okay. Yep,
This is the Islero?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Increasing flavor and enjoyability throughout the second, especially the second half.
And which size was that?
This was 5x52 Robusto.
Gotcha. Okay.
I wasn't ready to rate it initially, and after revisiting it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I give it a box split, $850 price point. Made it the Casada factory in the DR. Good smoke, construction. I really liked it.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good stick.
What else you got, Joe Hollywood?
L'Aurora.
Aurora.
Here we go.
A lot of Roy Heavy.
Aurora.
L'Aurora.
Aurora.
The Preferido Platinum, but I also kind of combined this with the Ruby. So it's the ones that it was the Platinum Cameroon, and it comes in a tube. Amazing stick, right? Sweet woodsy notes right off the bat. You definitely like it.
So this is the Platinum Preferido?
This is the Platinum Preferido.
And what's the wrapper on the Platinum?
The wrapper is I have it. Hold on. The wrapper. It's a Cameroon wrapper.
Okay.
Aged Dominican binder and filler leaf was the description that they have. They didn't really divide it as far as wrapper, binder, filler, factory on the resources that I could find from there. But again, sweet woodsy notes, hints of coffee in there. It's an amazing cigar. At the end, it kicks in with a little bit of spice. But the tubes are available in sample packs because they also had the Ruby as well. Mm-hmm. And if you can go out there and find the sample packs, definitely get out there. It's a 6-box count with the sampler pack. It includes the Preferidos, the Sun-Grown Emerald, the Preferidos Maduro Ruby, which is what I had as well. Also the Connecticut Sapphire and the Cameroon Platinum, which is how we started this discussion.
And there's a Corojo Gold.
Yep. And it's just in the Corojo Gold. And it's just, if you can get your hands on that, I would definitely say, if you have a significant other and they don't know what a gift to get you, that is like a good gift.
Oh, yeah, because it's very colorful. There's some great smokes in there.
Yeah.
And the Cameroon, I think, is my favorite Preferido of all time. Whether it's the one of the tubes or they make different sizes. The Ruby's probably pretty close second. The Rubies with age are phenomenal.
Yeah, the Ruby is just an amazing stick. And the
plus the black tube with the broadleaf on it is awesome as well. So, yeah, I mean, you really can't
go wrong.
I've been on such a kick this week, so I'm definitely going to pick up a sample pack for sure.
The Connecticut's the one that's kind of, it's just okay for me. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that Connecticut Preferido.
Right. If you're going to get a box, sway towards the other.
Yeah,
the other ones. But amazing smoke, burns slow. You won't be disappointed. Size is interesting. It's narrow and it gets a little fatter.
Well, and I think the size contributes to the overall smoking experience and different characteristics as you get in different points of that size. I think is one of the things that make the Preferido blend very special. Plus the mix with the. Have you guys done the blending kit?
No.
Oh,
they have it next door.
The blending kit?
Yeah. We'll make sure you guys get a blending kit.
Okay.
Because I went through the blending seminar. and we went through the blending kit separately after that. But you smoke all the different types of tobacco in the Preferidos blend. You get a cigar with all the different wrappers. You get like a Churchill with all the different wrappers on it. So as you smoke through, it's all the different wrappers.
Interesting.
It's awesome. You learn so much about the blend, and it's just spectacular. The blending kit is, you'll have a newfound, as much as you love Preferido now,
right.
Going through that blending kit. They have them next door at Havana Cigar Club. If our listeners are interested, you can still call and probably get some blending kits.
It's an education in
Manuel and Noah signed every one of them too. But you'll get a newfound appreciation for Preferidos. So
Yeah. It's box worthy for sure. Either one of the boxes, other than the Connecticut, of course, but definitely seek this one out.
Rainman, you're up.
Very excited for this one right here. Nesta Miranda Corojo, the yellow band, gifted by our buddy Willie Morante, who was in last week. Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. Offering one size, $7.75 price point. The 4.5 by 50 Robusto. Absolutely gave it a box worthy. This thing spoke to me. Barnyard, pepper, wood, earth. It was so much so I revisited the next day. I had to have another one. It was it's right up there.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Nesta Miranda collection. I think it's good. I think a lot of it for me is Fiverr. When Willie was said how Nesta was really pumped up about Nicaraguan Corojo, and now he has the Corojo, I was like, that cigar's now up on my list to try.
Oh, you haven't had it yet?
I haven't smoked mine yet.
Oh, my God.
I think that's going to be really good because he kind of spoke to, like, the passion about a particular kind of leaf. And when I get those kind of cues, I'm like, that's probably going to be the best one in the collection. And it sounds like from what you're saying, it definitely. I don't know if you smoked through the other ones in the collection.
It was so good. All of them. Yeah, this elevated is number one for me. The Nesta Miranda, and very enjoyable all the way through. Fingertip burner and ton of flavor. That Barnyard, especially, that was what absolutely able to pull.
Is it great when you smoke something and you're like, I gotta go back to it?
Yeah,
the next day.
It's like for me, that's like a flag. Like,
oh yeah.
Like wait a minute.
Like it stuck out of all the ones we smoked.
Did I just smoke? Was that good? Can I? It's like it's awesome.
16 hours later, I was back after it again. I had to have it.
Yeah.
Had to have it.
Yep.
Southern Draw. I smoked a Southern Draw, quick draw, Pennsylvania broadleaf, short Panatella. This is a 5.5 by 40. Solid smoke. It is Pennsylvania broadleaf, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan and Honduran filler from the folks at Southern Draw. And it didn't change up as I smoked it, right? I mean, it was the same throughout, but I got that rich kind of chocolatey sweetness throughout this entire smoke. And I really liked it. I called it box worthy, in my opinion. This is a good solid smoke.
Nice.
It's a good smoking cigar. I think at a pretty reasonable price point too, given it's a Panatella. I don't know what
I think it's in the 5 to 6 range.
Yeah, this is a great especially on that price point. It's box worthy all day long.
Nice.
I liked it. I was actually impressed. Some of the stuff from Southern Draw, it varies on my rating scale. Like it's one of those, and I guess it's with every manufacturer. Like some of the stuff I'm like, yeah. The other stuff I'm like, wow, I'd buy a box of those. So. And again, that goes to our whole mantra of whenever you make a determination as to whether or not you like a certain cigar manufacturer's cigars, you have to be specific as to which blend and which size, because their blends are completely different, and even to each size, it's because this also comes in a what's the other
Corona?
size? You gave me the Corona.
The
size.
Corona and the Panatella.
Yeah, so this comes in a Petite Corona, which I haven't smoked yet. But size matters. The blend obviously matters. And I think a lot of times what we'll hear, make sure you correct people when they do this, is that they'll say, well, I don't like cigars from XYZ manufacturer. And I'm like, have you smoked every blend in every size? Well, no. Well, then you can't really say that, Like you got to, and this was one from Southern Draw that I really liked. So, anything else?
Sitting on one more, the Avo Domain 50. Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper, Dominican binder and filler. A little bit higher on the price point. I had $12 there, but it's a box-worthy cigar for me. 6 by 50 Perfecto, and earthy
Yeah, the
sweetness.
Perfecto is good in that.
floral notes, which
You get some
I'm
herbal.
partial to.
I call it herbal, but
Okay.
floral. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Cocoa, some nuttiness, medium full. Boxes 20 made in Dominican Republic, and I mean, you can't go wrong with Avo. That's
Yeah, and as those age, that herbal is not as prominent.
the right on the
That
top of the
herbalness kind of dissipates with age, I find, and you get more of the other notes that you were talking about.
Avo Domain and the Fagata. The right on top for me are the depth chart for Avo. That's what I migrate to all the time.
Avo's
very
very
good.
rated very high.
Yeah,
on the Stogie
they're
Geeks.
very, very good on, well balanced on the palate.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people don't like that herbal note, though, that you find in a lot of the older brands like Domain from Avo. In a lot of the newer ones, you don't find it as much. The Fagata, not so much.
That herbal note I equate to freshness.
Avo Synchro, the Avo Synchro
Oh, the Nicaraguan one?
is the Nicaraguan one, and then the Fagata is that the size? Is it no?
That's the newest.
The newer one, yeah.
I'd say newest is.
It is.
might
I
be
think it is the
2
newest
years at this point, but yeah.
That herbal note, to me, on my palate, it's a freshness.
Yeah.
You know, it's a freshness on the
A lot
palate.
of people don't like it though, dude. Oh,
Really?
they do not like
Really?
it.
Yeah, it's not minty like the Atabay. like we
Right,
talk
right,
about.
right.
It's
Okay.
a freshness.
It is a
that
different
just,
herbal
that
from the
just
Atabay.
has. It's almost like to me, I describe it as a cleaner smoke
Yeah.
over on your palate. It's just you know.
A
There's a
lot of
place
people,
for it.
Great
a lot of
blends.
people liken it to like a grass. They call it grassy flavor.
Grass, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they'll say it's like fresh cut grass, and they just can't deal with it. But like I said, I do find it varies in intensity in the different Avo blends, and it tends to dissipate a little bit with age. I think when they're new, like right off the truck, like,
Right.
yeah, it is like grass clipping. Like the grassiness is really overpowering, which I've come to like because I've smoked some that have been aged. I love the XO blend in that Petit Corona that they don't make anymore is one of my favorite Avo smokes.
Yeah.
And then
There's
of
a
course
place
he's
for
got
it.
the
There's-
limited
They're certainly
editions.
moving. They're
Yeah.
moving off the shelves. So, I mean, there's definitely, speaking of Joe's forte, there's definitely a market for it, and they are moving. But
Avo Cinco is awesome. I like it.
Yeah, well, and that one doesn't have that grassy note to it at all. So if you're looking at Avo, definitely some of the newer, like the Synchro is where you want to be. And we liked that one. I think in the larger ring gauge, I think it's a 58 box press. We covered that last year or the year before. We did a special segment on it. And it's funny. Dave Garofalo from Two Guys Smoke Shop said that he liked that one the best as well. So it's kind of some validation from a third party source as well. So the TA is being held in Cabo, Mexico. It's the Tobacco Association of America has their meeting this week. So you see a lot of people posting from there. I mentioned Davis when I mentioned it. He was there overlooking the beach, smoking a cigar.
not a
in
bad way to
Mexico.
go about it.
Yeah, it's a good location.
okay, I guess so. Yeah.
There was some issues before they were flying out there. Security issues. Hopefully, everyone's safe out there in Cabo and having a good time. So, thank you everyone for listening and watching the Stogie Geeks. That concludes this episode. We'll see everyone next week.